Hey everyone, and welcome to today's tutorial. Today we are going to be working with the Winter Magic collection from Echo Park, and we are going to be including these chipboard accents and these die cuts. So these chipboard accents, I didn't really use them. I used a couple things off them, but it's definitely not necessary. And I just want you to note here that the coordinating solids paper pack that I used is actually from Carta and it's called Winter Market. I didn't realize that I used two separate collections until I started editing this video. And when I started editing this video, I realized that the chipboard accents are actually Winter Market from Carta as well. That's probably why I didn't end up using them either a whole bunch, because it didn't actually coordinate. I have no idea how I didn't notice this when I was doing it, but yeah, that happened. I don't regret my paper choices. Actually, I think they worked out quite well. So if you like the pages that I do in this video, I am using the Carta Winter Market cardstock, but I am doing the Echo Park Winter Magic collection kit. So I actually really like the cardstock and how it turned out. I wouldn't have done it intentionally, but it did work out well enough. So it is what it is. Hopefully this isn't how 2021 is gonna go, but it definitely worked out for the best anyways. For today's two double page layouts here, we need 3 accent papers, 4 background papers, and as you can see, there's no duplicates of anything throughout the pattern, so we'll just have to try and match up our background papers as best as we can. There is 4 journaling card type papers. We're going to go ahead and remove those first. If you do make pocket pages, these are beautiful journaling cards. I love the wood grain and the colors. It works. They would make beautiful layouts. I don't think I need any winter layouts in my my album that I'm doing journaling cards in, so I'm not gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna make anything with those. Now moving on to picking our 3 accent papers. Our plaid or striped paper is going to be used on both sets of double layouts. That writing font type paper that I use as my second accent is actually only going to be used on layout 3 and 4. It's not going to be used on layout 1 and 2. And it's also optional. You don't have to put it in there. And so I'm going to pull that out, but we might not use it necessarily. And then I really loved, for our second accent paper, it doesn't necessarily need to be a multi-directional paper. It can be a directional paper. So I'm going to go ahead with these trees. I like how they are very outdoorsy, and they're going to work well with the different theming that I want, and they incorporate a lot of the different colors that I want to work with. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and pick background pages. I always like to pick things with similar coloring, so I went with those 2 darker navy based pages for my first set of double layouts, and then for my second set of double layouts, I went ahead and picked the snowflake paper with another outdoor florals type of paper. So one kind of white based background and one more of a navy based background for our layouts. Now going ahead and picking our cardstock, I went ahead with this light blue. It has like a kind of a forest green color on the back side, which now I understand why it didn't make sense as a coordinating color for this collection. I didn't catch on at the time, but I love that light blue color. And then we also went with this darker blue coloring as well that has like a greenish backside. as you can see here when we're assembling these layouts, that font paper, which is optional, it actually doesn't stand out against the background at all. So here I just put the adhesive a little bit away from the edges of the top and the bottom of my accent, my font paper accent, and I cut some of my spare cardstock and into 0.5 inch by 12 inch strips, and I just created sort of a border on the top and the bottom just to separate the background from that accent paper, just to make it show up a little bit more, give another layer. But you definitely don't need to put that paper in, especially if it's going to blend in like that and not serve much of a purpose, unless you try to emphasize it somehow. as you can see, I swapped out a few of the photo areas to make some journaling areas, and I really wanted to focus and incorporate a lot of the trees and use those. as well. Just make like a general winter kind of a layout. I didn't want it to be themed too much to like skating or tobogganing or anything specifically on this one. I wanted it to kind of be a little bit more general. Winter is like spans more than one season where I live. I feel like we have snow like at least 6 months of the year, so it's like we have more time with snow than we necessarily do with like nice summer weather. So I maybe use more winter layouts than a lot of other people would, depending on where you live. Some people don't even get snow, which is so crazy. I don't even know what life would be like without having snow at least part of the time, or at least for Christmas time, or at least like January or so. So when you live with this much snow and winter, you definitely have to find ways to enjoy it. And I'm not a huge like outdoor winter kind of a person. Like my face gets really cold and then my teeth start hurting, and I'm not an outdoor winter kind of girl. I'm more like, hey, it's really cold outside, make a fire in the fireplace and read a book. It's sort of my vibe. So but I still have kids in the house, and we still like to do things outside. They certainly do, and I take most of my pictures of my kids, not really of me. So that's kind of where this layout was heading. And then for our second layout here, I wanted to incorporate some of the wood grain into this layout. Some of these journaling cards are a little bit too big, but I kind of wanted to find a way to balance them out on the page. So I tried to put a little bit of wood grain throughout the entire double layout just to make it work out nicely, and then sort of put accents around that. I really love some of these sayings. It reminds me of winter. So do these little critters that we have on here. I didn't want to have two deer though, so I ended up putting in some of these snowmen as well. And what I went ahead and did is I actually covered that one deer with the snowman itself. And I wanted to sort of scatter those snowmen into like a triangle shape just to balance it out. And then I popped up this lettering that said snow. So on both of these layouts, the only techniques I actually did was just popping up some things and not others, just to give it some depth and some layering, just like I normally do. It's kind of all I do. And then I just finished off this layout by putting some various accents in places here and there. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. We will see you in a couple more weeks with another video, and I think that one is going to be a wedding themed collection kit. So we will see you in a couple of weeks, and have a great weekend, everyone.